They did not use this song in another movie. Did they? This is a great love story, City of Angels, and now they're going to use it for a other story that's not a happy love story. But am I right? Is it This Ends With Us? Oh, no. Okay. So what movie is this, Rhino?
This is also Deadpool, who stayed number one.
Okay. I'll give it to Deadpool. I'm thinking, it's Friday, so Tanya's here on Good Things, and I was thinking the movie that's coming out, It Ends With Us, which is like a tragic love story, but not in the good way. And I'm like, no, they're going to take City of Angels song and put it with, because that was a wonderful love story.
I know. Isn't it funny how some movies are, some songs are so close to the movie. And
I can see the whole scene.
Every time I see that, hear that song, I think of Meg Ryan. Every single time.
On his bike, closing her eyes like an idiot. Yeah. Well, that's terrible.
And I have not seen that movie in decades, probably, but I remember it like it was yesterday.
And every time you hear that song, you cannot disassociate it. So I was like, if they put that with, It Ends With Us, I'm like, that is a terrible, just disgrace for that. But okay, so Deadpool, I'll give it to Deadpool, which is still number one.
Yeah,
People
it's still big time number one, and I feel like it's probably going to be number one this weekend too.
Wow.
Maybe the next.
Are people just going back for multiple viewings?
I think some people are, but I think that it's just that big. But, I'm not surprised at all. I knew it was going to be big, but I really thought that this would be a movie that really only spoke to diehard Marvel fans. But I think everybody's loving it.
Is it because it's just, it's Deadpool, but then also you have that pairing of Wolverine? Do you have Wolverine fans that may not have been Deadpool that are coming out, or just
Probably
everybody loves Hugh Jackman?
I think that everybody was so sad when Wolverine died that the chance to get to see him back on the screen, everybody's jumping at it. And curiosity, he clearly died at the end of Logan, so how in the world is he back? So I think a lot of people are probably going just to get that answer.
And then it's entertaining, so word of mouth.
Yeah, it is a fun movie. It really is.
So what you got now this week?
Yeah, so this weekend, as you just mentioned, It Ends With Us. Now, the music for this movie is Taylor Swift. Taylor and Blake Lively are buds. Yeah. And so, in fact, she's written songs about Blake and Ryan Reynolds' children, and, so they're pretty tight. But this one, until probably, I've heard about this movie, and I knew it was based on a book, but I didn't know the author's name. She did not come into my world until this week when I was starting to prepare for this movie. And anyway, Colleen Hoover is her name, and apparently I'm one of the few people that have never heard of her. She's like a best-selling author, and at one time, it could be today, I'm not sure, but I heard that she had like the top 6 books in the New York Times paperback list. So she's clearly very popular. And what I'm hearing about this movie is if you read the book, the movie, which I did not, the book is very, very close. You don't always hear that. Yeah. So the book readers are super happy, and they are all loving the movie. But yeah, so Blake plays a girl who it starts off, and her father has just died. She's living in Boston and just kind of getting a fresh start. And her lifelong dream has been to open a floral shop, a high-end floral shop. And she does that. And so she's kind of settling into life when she meets this doctor. And, of course, they quickly fall in love. And he, unfortunately, has some anger issues. So it is they say that the book kind of glamorizes domestic violence a little bit. I've heard that. I don't know if that's true. That's just, I've heard that. But they say, in this movie, I guess maybe a difference between the book and the movie is it really does a good job of making you understand that domestic violence is not okay. And it's a good look at, a woman who decides that for herself and has the strength and the courage to do something about it. And it's not like Enough with J-Lo where she beats the guy up or anything like that. It's just her being an adult and breaking the cycle, because as you see in flashbacks, her parents had a rough. Her father was abusive to her mother, and so
Did you see this today?
I did, and I liked it. I thought it was good. I just thought it was maybe a notch above a Hallmark movie. It was kind of cheesy to me, but I really liked the message. I felt like it was an empowering movie. And Blake Lively's great.
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved her. So I think if you read the books, definitely you need to see it. And even if you didn't, this is a great girls' night out movie. Great characters, great acting, and well directed. And the director also plays the love interest or her abusive.
That guy.
Yeah, and there's a little twist in there too.
It's like you don't know how to say it correctly.
There's another romantic figure in the movie that is like her childhood friend who she meets again, and he's kind of in the shadows, but that also causes problems for her marriage because the guy's jealous over really what at that time is nothing.
So I saw something. Obviously, I don't read, so I didn't read the book. That would not be my choice of content if I did. But where the author's mother was so grateful that she read the book because it came from the author's parents.
Yes.
Where dad was abusive. The mother chose to leave the situation. And that book, she always felt guilty about taking their dad away, but the book showed the mom that she made the right choice. Anyway, it was a nice little sort of.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And that probably puts a nice big closure on their whole family. I mean, she's probably broken the cycle for her family.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's cool. And I'd read an interview with the author, and she did say that, this was probably her favorite book, and it was because it was so personal. Mm-hmm. But she says that every book she writes, which there's a ton of them, apparently she's pretty known for writing some steamy scenes. And this movie has that too. And it is PG-13. But
don't take your children.
Anyway, she said that she sends her mom a chapter at a time of every book she's ever written, and that her mom loves those scenes. So I thought that was funny.
That would make me
I couldn't do it either.
But if you don't want to do that movie, what can you do?
So if you're more into the action sci-fi kind of thing, maybe you've already seen Deadpool and you want to see something else, Borderlands is out this weekend. I have not seen this one. It's PG-13, and it's based on a video game that is very popular, and it's an all-star action adventure that follows a ragtag team of misfits on a mission to save a missing girl who holds the key to unimaginable power. But to me, when I saw the trailer for this, it made me think of Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit, where you have this bunch of people that don't necessarily go together, but they form this odd little family. But I will say Kevin Hart's in it. Cate Blanchett plays the main character. Ariana Greenblatt, who, if that name's familiar, she played the teenager in the Barbie movie, the human. Well, I guess they were all humans, but, a non-Barbie. And then Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, who I just love her.
Aaron in Meridian said he's looking forward to Borderlands. He's a fan of the game and hope the movie is good.
Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I feel like if you play the game, you're going to want to see it, I would think. But yeah, so that's it as far as in the theater. We do have one new release on Apple TV called The Instigators, and it co-stars Matt Damon and Casey Affleck, which, pretty good casting there. But they are reluctant partners that are thrown together to rob some corrupt politicians, but things go wrong and they find themselves just engaged in chaos. So the early reviews I've heard of this one, it just came out today, is that it's got a lot of language. It's rated R. And so people are having a hard time getting past that.
Because you don't need it.
No, it's not necessary. And especially at this point in his career, I
mean, I get it if you need like a punctuation sort of here or there. Look, my mouth ain't perfect, but you don't need every other word just to be for it to be entertaining.
But yeah, so that's it. And I guess next week the big release is Alien Romulus. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
We made it a week without a horror movie.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, so it's one of those alien movies all the way back to Sigourney Weaver.
Good times.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you, Tanya. You guys stick with us. We got more for you.